In this video, I'm going to show you the secret to making Derwent Lightfast pencils look really good. And I want to share that with you because they are amazing pencils and this secret makes them 10 times better. I'm Jenny from Jenny's Crayon Collection. I help you guys find the coolest art supplies for whatever project you're doing. And today we're going over the 100 Derwent Lightfast colored pencils. Previously, I did a video on the 72 Derwent Lightfast colored pencils. And this time I'm going to do all 100. So how did I get all 100 colored pencils? I had to go to Blick and buy them individually because if not, I would have to buy the 100 set and I didn't want to pay that much more money just to get the 28 pencils I was missing. So if you see colors in this set that you like today, you can go purchase those. I'll leave the link to Blick, and let's say you can pick out 12, 24, 36 colors of just colors that you want, or you can pick out a smaller set because these pencils are just amazing. In this video, we're going to swatch all the colors. I'm going to show you how to blend them, how to burnish them, the difference between the two, because there is a difference. They write on black paper. I'm going to show you the secret sauce to making these pencils look perfect. To make 100 pencils, I had to have the 72 and get the 28 by themselves. And here's a little information packet that's included with all the pencils. And you'll come and see the chart and they show a swatch and you can see the missing pencils that aren't there for the 100. And when I saw those, I'm like, I have to get them because yellow, why didn't they put yellow in the normal pencils? I was wondering. Here's how the pencils came. They came with their own little barcodes on them, so I have to take them all off. But it's nice that they have barcodes because then you know that you're getting the right pencil. It's just kind of annoying because then you have to take it off, but the colors are the same. They just don't have a little tin to put them in, so I need to find a tin somehow. So why are Lightfast pencils so amazing? They're amazing because when you put the artwork on your wall, they won't fade over time. And these pencils have a lot of pigment. There's a lot of other different Derwent colored pencils and they all have different properties, but that's what makes these ones special. So I have this chart here and this is going to be available for download below. And I have all the colors. I wanted to put it on one sheet and they are in circles. I could do squares. If you want me to do squares, I can, but later you'll see how cool it is why I did the circles, but I can do a square one if you guys want me to. I will happily make one for you. But it's nice to have all the pencils in one place, and especially when you're getting this many and they're so expensive, it's nice to see if there are any duplicate colors that come in here, because you never know. And with 28 more, you're like, am I going to get duplicates or am I going to have the same colors that I had before? So next up, I'm going to swatch the 28 new colors. Sorry about that. And we're going to go through these and we're going to swatch them really fast for you so you can see what they look like. Right now, I'm just swatching them as I go, pretty fast so that way it doesn't take forever because there's a lot of things that we are doing in this video. But here we have all of the colors that are new, like a couple years ago, but I finally got them. But I'm so excited to have them all. Here's the chart. So there's a very good variety. You can see it's all over the sheet. I did notice that we are a little heavy on like browns and oranges in this sheet, but you'll see later that it kind of changed a little bit from what it looks like now. Next up, we're going to finish swatching all of these. I'm pressing lightly on one half, dark on the other, so we can get a little bit of a gradient. It would be better with squares for that, but I like practicing with circles and it's a lot of fun and you can see everything on the page. But I can make one with squares also. I'll have that available actually, I think, in the download. So if you went and got this, you can choose have both of them. And Pale Pink is Flesh Pink. So if you have an older box, Flesh Pink is Pale Peach, just so you know, because I didn't have to wait till the end. So we have all our colors here, and it looks like there's a good variety of colors. There are a lot of colors that are quite dark, and I was like, why are they all so dark? Like, I didn't understand. Let's look at them close up, and you can just see that some of these colors are super dark. We have some really light colors, but especially at the top and the bottom and the browns and all of these, Mars Black, Midnight Black, Black, and Forest, they all look the same, and all these browns look the same. I'm just like, what's going on here? Well, this is the secret. This is their Derwent Burnisher and Blender set. It also comes with an eraser and a sharpener. And if you have these pencils, get this set. And I'm not sure if the other Derwent pencils need this, but the Lightfast really do need this set. If you're going to use some of those dark colors and you want to bring out the color, you're going to want to use this set. So here I am opening it. I got all of my supplies, and that sharpener works great, by the way, because I always get asked about sharpeners. So the Derwent one, I sharpened a pencil with it, and it seemed fine for the Derwent colored pencil. First off, I'm going to show you the tools. The blender is really good for getting pigment moved around on the paper. Now remember that. The next tool is the burnisher. That's what you want to use when you're done and you don't want to put any more layers on top. You can put more layers with the blender. And then the last one is the Caran d'Ache blender, and I love that one, and I'm going to use that one a little bit. The secret is to lightly put the dark colors down. This doesn't seem to be as big of a deal when the colors are light, but when they're dark, you just barely want to touch the page with these colors. And you can experiment with different shading of these, like different strengths of putting them down, but barely put it down. And then you're going to take the blender and move it across the pencil marks that you just made. And you will see such a big difference. And all of a sudden, it doesn't look black anymore. It looks like a color. And I think this is amazing because I was like, whoa, that purple looks purple. It did not before. It just looked like some conglomeration of purple, and I was like, what is going on here? Why are these pencils so amazing? Which I still thought they were amazing, but now that I know how to use them, I appreciate them even more, and I hope you guys do too. Okay, so here's the other thing. I'm going to put down a line, and this is a Caran d'Ache one, and you can see how it makes it look super nice. We get the blue coming in there and everything. The next one I'm going to put down is another line, and then I'm going to use the blender on it. And you'll see how this one, when it's done, if you run your finger across it, it will smudge. So you're going to want to make sure that you put a burnisher on it, either the Caran d'Ache or the burnisher provided. So I'm going to do it one more time, and we're going to use the burnisher, and you can see how that one works. It doesn't spread the color as good as the blender, but it doesn't smudge when you take your finger off of it. So over here, I'm going to just try it with just doing it this way, and then I'm going to put the blender on it, and then I'm going to put the burnish on it. And I think I'm going to use this method to do all of the swatches because I think that looks super pretty and I don't want it to smudge. I like how the blender blends everything around. And look at all those. It's just a little bit different. You can tell that it's just a little bit more filled in. The gaps are a little bit more filled in. And now I'm going to show you how you can blend these colors together. So here we have yellow and we have blue. And of course, yellow and blue make green. So we're going to put it on top here, and you see that green coming out. These pencils are so good at blending. I could just probably make 10 videos on just all the color combinations that are available. But look at this. And then, so now I'm just doing the layering method, whereas I could probably take that burnisher and burnish that and it would turn into this lovely, pretty green. But I am just layering this right now for you. Next, I'm going to try it burnishing it and see if I can get such pretty colors, which we know we can. And I have the blue and the green, and I'm going to create like this little gradient right here. And we're going to come down. We're starting to see that green appear in the middle. It is so pretty. I'm gonna put my layers on. Let's see. And now we're gonna use this pencil. So I'm starting at the yellow and I'm gonna bring it down. And I know I could get a prettier blend than this. The green and the blue look pretty good. The yellow to green needs a little bit of work. But look at how amazing that looks. And the color looks so much different than it did before. Now up here, I'm gonna try blue and magenta. I tried blue and like a red, but it ended up being green. So I'm gonna try blue and magenta and see if I can make purple. Let's see how this goes. So now I'm putting my blue down and then I'm gonna put my magenta down again and I'm gonna layer this up. I could probably stop right here and get a really pretty color. And I do. And so here we go. And I am looking at that and look at that purple that is coming out of those two colors. And I'm going to burnish these ones and see how they look with the Caran d'Ache blender. And look at those blues. You can get some super pretty colors there. And that's the one that I tried blue with red and it turned out green. Much better to use the magenta with the blue if you want to make that. This is what the pencils looked like for the 72 on black paper. I didn't do the extra 28, but if you want me to, I can at another time. I just wanted to show you what they looked like previously. Next up, we're gonna look at some black paper. And I showed you previously doing it, all the colors on black paper with the 72. But now I'm going to show you these light colors. These light colors are very interesting because they don't come out very dark on the white paper. And let's try them on the black paper to see what they look like. So we're going to put all the colors on here and see. There's not that much difference with the colors, which is kind of surprising. It's like, come on, why is there not that much different colors? But I'm going to show you why these colors matter, and it's because of what you can do with these colors with dark colors. So with dark colors, you're going to use either the blender that we talked about earlier, the burnisher. There's also another method. You can use a light color. So all of a sudden we have these 6 colors, and I don't even have white in there, so there's really 7. We have all these colors, and all of a sudden these become different pigments added to that purple. And look at that, now we're getting like this bright purple. And next up, I'm gonna write what it is so we don't forget. So that one's oyster plus purple, and oyster is kind of in the same color family as purple. So it's not gonna change it that much. It's gonna make it a little bit more pastel-y. Next up, we are going to put purple down again. And then we are going to add another color to it. And this color, look at how different. This one is champagne. So instead of like getting this super light color, we are getting like a deeper, richer purple that's kind of a little bit more redder because champagne has that yellow red undertone to it. And the next one we're going to try, we have another purple, and I believe this one is Arctic. And so we're going to see what this one changes it into. So it's looking similar to what the oyster did a little bit up there. And you know what we could probably do that would make it a little better is we could burnish these. But this one is light aqua, not Arctic, but light aqua plus purple. And we can make these look a little bit nicer. But we'll try these on white paper also, so that way you guys can see what they look like. So we're pulling out the white paper, and this is what the purple looks on white paper. And it's like, oh, it looks okay. So I'm putting in 3 right now. Sorry, this is just kind of like haphazard. Sometimes when I get experimenting, this is me in my experimenting phase, I'm like, what does this do? And I was just so amazed by this. So we're putting purple at the top, and I don't know how to spell purple. Forgive me. And we're going to go on to our first color with purple. And we're going to pull it up, purple plus white. So now this time I'm trying white. Let's just see what white does to purple. So it really brings out that purple. We get a pastel color. It looks so different than before. Down below, it looks black. And that one does not look black. Next, we're going to try light aqua. So light aqua is going to bring it more to the blue side. So if you look at that, you can see that is kind of going to the blue side. And what you could do, instead of like I'm kind of burnishing with these, you could lightly color it in with these, and then you could use your blender and your burnisher to see what they look like. I might try that. So now we're going to go to Champagne plus Purple, and we're going to see what this one looks like. I'm going to guess it's going to be a little more on the red side than the white was. Yep. So we're kind of getting like a plum color with the Champagne. So you can see how these, even though they didn't look that different, they are producing lots of different colors with this purple. And we're going to try some more colors with the purple here. Next up, we're going to try Oyster and see what Oyster does. And we're going to try another color. We are going to try Arctic, which is kind of close to Aqua, but it's just a little bit different. So Oyster comes in here. It kind of looks like the light Aqua, except for it looks a little redder. Oh, sorry, that was Oyster, not Arctic. So of course it looks redder. It looks more like the white. Brought it maybe to more purpley because Oyster has a purple undertone. Arctic brings it into the blue range, so it kind of looks like the light Aqua. But look at that. That looks really cool, huh? I really like these pencils, and you can try this with lots of different colors to see how your pencils will react to the different colors. Let's go back to the black paper, and we're going to burnish these so we can get more of an even tone. And look at that. And you could bring those off to the white. You could do some really cool paper, like black paper drawings with these pencils. And trust me, I've tried some crayons on black paper and they do not look like this. So these are amazing. You should try it. Try coloring with a black. You can just get like a few of these and do them on black. So now I'm going to burnish these ones up here to see if they look any different. I should have just done lightly and not burnished with the lighter color, but it just brings in the undertone a little bit more and makes it a little bit more even and kind of puts it in place so it doesn't go all over the paper and smudge. So that's how you can get it not to smudge as much. Next up, we're going to go through and we're going to try this again, but this time we're going to just lightly press the pencil so we can really develop these colors with the burnisher. So I'm going to bring the burnisher over here and we're going to see what this looks like. Sorry, the blender first. So it's really pulling out the blue in the dark indigo, like where we didn't see it before, it's pulling out. And some of these colors, the blender changes a lot. Like I looked at it, I was like, is that right? You'll see as we go, but it looks super amazing. So I'm just going to try one more really fast before I fill in this whole chart first, and then we'll burnish it slow, because that's the really cool part is when they change. We are going to do Green Earth next. So this one's really light, and I lightly pressed this one, and I'm going to bring in the blender first, and we're going to, you will want to maybe get the blender better, like the flakes off before you go off to another one. I didn't do that perfectly through the whole chart. But look at that. Look at how that brings that green. But you can see how it's not quite pulling it as much as the darker color, which has me wondering. It's weird how some of them do and some of them don't. So now we're going to go through all the colors. I'm just lightly putting them in there so that way we can see what these look like when we go through and we burnish them. Let me tell you, this took a long time. Like, this video is not 2 or 3 hours long, but it probably took me 2 or 3 hours to do all this. And my hand actually wasn't that bad today. So here we are, we're burnishing all of these, blending first and then burnishing with the blender. And this one, I am going to use the Derwent burnisher. I use the other one, and then I'm just using the burnisher on this one, the Racing Green, and you can see how it doesn't pull the pigment around as much. But if you use the blender first, you can really get that pigment moved around. It's almost like you're coloring with it, but you're not. And then you lock it into place with the burnisher. And then I am I kind of experimented at first, and then afterwards I was like, I just want to do the method, the blender, and then the burnisher. But you can see how these colors are really developing and they're looking really super pretty. We're going to try Midnight Blue next. And then after, I just like to blow the flakes off a little bit because it gets a little bit flaky when you're using the blender. So make sure that you're blowing the flakes off, because if not, like, you might accidentally put them on another part of your page, and then if you know, you could get it all over the page and you don't want that. So just blow it off. I know some people have brushes, but I like to blow things off because then you're not brushing things off and then like it might still be on your drawing. If you blow it off, it's not going to be there. And then we're off to the greens. These are just coming in nicely. I like that basil and that ivy. I remember before they were super dark. This mountain green really brings it out. And I would experiment with different. So what you could do is you could like barely put it down and see how that does. You could put it down a little bit more and see how it does. But if you put it down dark, I found that it's very hard to develop the color. So unless you're going for that dark, you know, color in your drawing, I would just not do it. The black ended up being a little bit lighter than I thought. And here we have Midnight Black. And remember before, Mars Black and Midnight Black looked like super similar, and now they're so different. So I think I have to rearrange this chart after burnishing and blending because they definitely turned out different, which I was really surprised. And some of these lighter colors, I still have some of the darker colors in, so I apologize if I get a little bit of the other color in the previous bubble, but I'm trying to be as careful as I can. But like I said, this take like a while to do all this, but I have sped this one up. This one is actually twice as fast. I just wanted to show you how different these were so you could really get a feel for what these colors look like, because I feel like this is the bread and butter of how these work. And that grass green, look at how it filled in. And so that's another trick with these pencils, is they're kind of expensive and you don't want to like use a ton of the pigment. So what you can do is you can use that blender to smooth it around. So it's almost like you're like using the pencil more, but you're not actually using it. You're just kind of like moving it around the page. So that peridot blue looks so pretty. I love these colors. I can't wait to like do something with them. I've done a few things with them already, and you can kind of see in the 72 video, and I've put, I think, some stuff on my Instagram. But I just love these pencils, and like after I learned this secret today, I'm like, okay, I am going to do this more. I am definitely going to have to experiment with these a ton more because I feel like the potential for these like is so great. And with all Derwent pencils. And I actually bought last year, look at that violet come out. I did not see that violet before. And then let's look at this blue violet. It's like a little game right here. It's like you're watching, oh, Nightingale, I forgot Nightingale. We'll have to see what that one looks like. But it's this like little game. What will it look like? Blue violet. Wow, I can see the blue in it. And then I think I'm going to go on to mid ultramarine. These ones are kind of boring, honestly. We kind of went through what the lighter colors look like and how they affect our drawings earlier. But on white paper, they're not that much different on black paper either. But they're really good if you're blending things with them. They're kind of act like a white. So that's what I would kind of look at them, just like as a white with different shades. So we have the yellow. That's the one that didn't come in the 72 set or anything smaller. Why don't you put yellow in a smaller set? I don't understand. So champagne's another one that this method didn't really help. I didn't even try the white because why? And that's when I had a yellow from the champagne on there and I was like, oops. So that's not really what wild lavender looks like. So I'm trying to fill it in. I'm like, maybe it'll look like that, but it still has yellow undertones in it. So that one's not perfect. I think that was one of the worst. Look at that nightshade. It like looks like this purple blue. I'm going to have to move it with violet because it did not look that beautiful before. That purple looks amazing. I love it. And then this heather, you'll see that it doesn't really do much. It doesn't really change it that much. And then we're on to pale peach. I might have just skipped it. Oh, salmon. I didn't put in salmon. And I didn't even try it because I was like, these don't really need it, because it's really the darker colors that are going to pull this in, or highly pigmented colors. Next up we have banana and then mustard. This one looks so pretty. Those yellow, sun yellow, mustard, and banana all look very, very similar to me. So that's one area where I'm like, do they really need that many different colors? So we have light bronze. That one looks different. Yellow ochre. That one's like a light, putty, like ochre is like earth or something, I think. This gold really stood out there. And then we have this sandstone. It looks like sandstone. Apricot is the one that surprised me the most. And I thought I had like some yellow on my pencil. So I like came over to another sheet and I was like, does this one look like another one? Or is this what it really looks like? And that was it before. And now I'm burnishing it again. And my burnisher brush was clean. So yeah, apricot. That's what apricot looks like. That one's probably one of the ones that changed the most. Cinnamon, not that much. Dusty pink, not that much. And then let's get to magenta. We've seen that one already. It really just brings out this really pretty hue right there. And Bordeaux, is that how you say it? It looks similar to magenta, but a little bit lighter. Deep rose. That one looks really pretty. Maybe just a little bit redder or purple. More purple than magenta. Then we have autumn red. Like I said, I'm going to have to rearrange this sheet before you guys get it because, oh, Scarlet, look at that. That's so pretty. And then flame. That one changed a lot also. It turned more orange than red. A lot of these down here are super pretty. They changed so much. And like I said, that's why I'm going to have to change this sheet around, because the colors down here changed so much when I started blending and burnishing them. Amber gold went more gold, kind of like apricot did earlier. And then golden sun changed too. So that's something that you could do too, is you could like kind of build up without burnishing it, and you could do like a gradient with it. Just kind of experiment with all of these things. Next is dark honey, and that kind of turned a little more yellow. Next we have dark orange, and that one definitely changed a little too. Warm gray is next. I'm making sure I clean it off because I don't want to have that dark orange on my warm gray, because if I do, that would be bad. So let's go over here and look. That one looks nice. I think I was actually sharpening the pencil at that point, but then my burnisher had some, dark orange on it. So that warm gray did change a few colors. So warm gray and lavender were not entirely accurate on this chart. Look at that Derwent red. All of a sudden that looks like the red on their box. That's why they call it Derwent red. Derwent red. It didn't look like that beforehand. Strawberry looks nice. Cherry red looks nice. But I see some I have to swap. Raisin. What? That looked brown before. Now it looks red. Now we have Mars violet. That's definitely looking more violet. Then we have chestnut. This one turns red. All of a sudden it went from like brown to red. Merlot was like a lavendery color. Kind of a little bit. Fossil gray. I'm going to say that warm gray looks green, but it's my fault because I used the wrong thing. Mars orange is orange, but it definitely turned colors. Persian orange. Look at how different that looks. I just am loving this. I'm like, oh, what's it going to look like next? And then taupe. That one looks a little more purpley. And then chocolate. I loved how this one brings out. I feel like I could have put it even lighter, but it does look brown. And then natural brown really looks brown. They looked the same before, but now they look different. Venetian red, it looks kind of red orangey. That looks nice. Autumn brown, looks like the dirt, with water on it. And then sepia, which is sepia with a little yellow. But yeah, I need to change that all around. So here's the two sheets side by side that I did. I mean, from this far away, you can't tell as much, but look at that top and look at the sides. You can really see that they're different. And then all my blending methods right here. when I learned that, yeah, you can do this. Let's look at it close up. You can really see those colors. It brought out those colors, and whereas before you can't really see the colors, especially the violet. And then on the bottom, all that section, it just really brought out those colors, and they look so different. I can't believe like how much they changed in that Mars. What was it, Mars Red or something else? Mars Black. I'll have to change it. Mars Black, because Mars was kind of like the red color because Mars is red. But these sheets look so different, and I hope you learned this and you liked that secret to use a blender or a burnisher or the Caran d'Ache one. And I hope you guys like this, and make sure that you check this out. What was your favorite color on here? Did you like all of these? I loved them so much. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.